Hello, McTagg from Fly-Carpin. Today we're going to tie John Montana's hybrid carp fly. This is an excellent fly. It's very easy to tie. It works all across the country in a lot of different situations. And personally, I think someday it's going to be one of the standards, kind of the woolly bugger of carp flies. Here's the recipe as we're going to tie the fly today. There is one slight deviation from how John Montana ties his hybrids. The peacock chenille that we're using is just a little bit different from what he uses. He uses a black ice stub. We'll mention that later. But otherwise, this is pretty true to his original recipe. Okay, we're going to start with some 70 denier rusty brown thread and some size 8 carp pro gapers. These are excellent carp hooks. If you can't get your hands on these, Camco egg hooks work pretty well as a substitute. Now we're going to lay down a thread base from the eye of the hook back to the bend of the hook. When we get to the bend, we're going to grab the tag end and we're just going to break it out. It's a nice thing about 70 denier. Work back to the front. Now we're going to put in some small brass eyes. John actually uses eyes that are even smaller than this. You can substitute small bead chain if you would like. Now we're going to go ahead and put the eyes on. We are going to crowd the eye of the hook just slightly with these. We're going to go ahead and figure 8 on the eyes. Make sure that they're on there really nice and tight and straight and perpendicular to the hook. So you're going to figure 8 in multiple directions. And we're going to work back to the bend of the hook. We're going to put on some ultra chenille standard wine. I have also used standard red as well as pink to very good effect for carp. So let's add the tail. Going to latch it in at the bend of the hook and wrap it forward to just behind the eyes. Now, John likes to use black ice stub chenille from Hairline Dubbing. I don't have any of that on hand. What I do have is some a little more lightly colored peacock chenille that I found at a fly shop a while back. It's pretty similar to what John uses, just a little bit lighter. Let's add that peacock chenille starting right behind the eye of the hook, right in front of the brass eyes. Latch it down and then overwrap it back to the bend of the hook. And then bring your thread back to behind the eyes and palmer that chenille forward to just behind the eyes. Where we will lock it down and trim it out. Next we're going to add some yellow pheasant rump. You can also substitute olive if that's what you have available. And sometimes on this fly I like to use Hungarian partridge. You get a little smaller feather, a little softer feather, a little more action. But this is what John uses and it works really well. So here I have a prepared feather that I'm going to tie in tip first. That's how John does it. I do a lot of my flies butt first, but he does his tip first. We're going to stay true to form here. So you're going to tie it in tip first, then you're going to fold the feather and wrap it just once around and sweep the feathers back and come over the top and latch that feather down. If I wasn't making the video, I probably would go 2 or 3 times over. I'm a little distracted by making the video. This fly would probably explode eventually and the pheasant rump would come untangled. Let's clip out the butt of the feather. And we're going to sweep it back and move forward to the head. And we're going to finish the fly with 2 whip finishes. I know that John sometimes uses super glue nowadays. Me personally, I'll just go with 2 whip finishes instead. And there you have it. John Montana's hybrid carp fly. Awesome.